Welcome to the Squared Circle Jerks podcast. I am Mike. He is Byron.
No, I'm not.
You are. Stop trying to deny your name.
Fine, whatever.
I mean, you're
sound like my mom.
You've at various points been Shabazz Jenkins as well, but you know, not always. It's also not your legal name.
You can't prove that.
All right, so we're gonna start talking about Raw, SmackDown. Well, I'm gonna do a lot of talking about Raw and SmackDown because you didn't watch it again.
No.
And then we're going to dive into 205 Live and NXT. Then we're going to talk about a little bit about just some rumor stuff at the end. So we opened up Raw with Kurt Angle and the Raw roster basically on stage. Angle's in the ring. He apologizes for underestimating how far Shane would go. And basically this just sets up Stephanie McMahon's return. She gets to come back and make Kurt the captain of Team Raw and also cut his balls up by making it clear he will be fired if they lose.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch Raw. As soon as I heard Stephanie McMahon's back, I'm like, well, okay, so she's probably going to make Braun Strowman dress up in like some sort of spangly unitard and blow bubbles instead of wrestle for 6 months.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk about Braun Strowman in a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be like, hey, how much dumb shit can we do to completely fuck over everybody's storyline push and everything else? And you know what? I don't even think Stephanie McMahon herself does this. I think someone, probably Vince, insists that this is a good character to have.
I've never really gotten the character of Stephanie McMahon overly. I mean, it's Vince McMahon of the 90s without any of the things that made Vince McMahon in the 90s good.
Yeah.
Also, after this, we had Miz confronting Kurt Angle in the hallway. Angle gets pissed off at him, doesn't want a coward representing the Raw brand, and that he will defend his title tonight against a mystery opponent. Then we got a match between Bayley and Alicia Fox, but we didn't really get that because Alicia Fox just came out and did like a comedy promo thing while being serious and delusional. Like she's behaving like she's the captain of a boat because she's the captain of Raw's women's team. It's a bit weird. Anyways, she's too busy to wrestle, and as a result, we end up with Nia Jax versus Bayley, and this is a match we've seen, it feels like 100 times at this point. And Jax won and gets to join Team Raw.
Hey!
Then Samoa Joe came out, and this was actually good because Jax and Fox are still out there. And we just cue the Samoa Joe music, and he starts coming out, and the crowd is hot for Joe. Hot!
I believe that.
But however, no, we're not going face with Samoa Joe. He's pissed with the crowd. The crowd didn't care about him when he was injured, and thus, he doesn't care about the crowd. And then they start booing him, and he just goes, your boos, they fuel me. And then he had a match with Apollo Crews. Booker T, who at this point had been unnoticeable on commentary, decided to stick his foot deep down his own throat by saying Samoa Joe has a sambo background. I don't think that's the case.
So it's called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but thanks for coming out.
It's kind of the thing is like, if you know what sambo is, you know Joe doesn't have a sambo background, so you're being insulted. And if you don't know what sambo is, what the hell is the point of the line?
Yeah.
Joe taps out Cruz with a coquina clutch. It's a squash-ish match. Cruz got a little bit of offense in, but yeah, he largely did the job. Titus comes in to scare away Joe, but Joe steps out of the ring, and then, when Titus turns his back, it's like, and I'm going to lock you in the coquina clutch now.
Nice.
So, Titus Worldwide is so... The only problem I have with this is that Titus Worldwide is so buried right now.
Yeah, I don't understand what the fuck that's about. Like, you had the start of a really good stable, and they haven't even been on TV in, 2 months?
Oh, they have. Losing to Elias Sampson.
No. Like, Titus Worldwide has not been, it doesn't exist anymore. It's just Apollo Crews wrestling and losing.
Yeah, it's just the commentators. Well, it's also Titus O'Neil wrestling and losing.
Yeah.
It's not great. Then we had the Intercontinental title match. Miz comes out. Matt Hardy is the mystery opponent. Notable news, Bo Dallas is back, so go Bo.
Good old Bro Dallas.
The match was okay, which is saying something for Miz, I guess, because I can't recall Miz having a good match, except for like some of the multi-man tag stuff. But this was okay. Miz retains the title. And then we go to Alexa Bliss trying to butter up Kurt Angle to cut Mickie James. She wants to reduce Kurt's stress and workload, so he should cut the roster like Mickie James. And Kurt is not really having any of that. Then we got Asuka squash time. She squashed some chick named Stacey Cullen.
Too late.
Kinda. I have written here, Asuka lock and win. This is what we needed when she debuted, not competitive matches with Emma, who was then cut.
Yes.
Daniel Bryan makes an appearance on Raw. Comes to visit Kurt Angle and try and make peace, basically, between the two brands. Kurt leaves him in his office for his own protection. And the lights go out. Kane appears in the dark and tombstones Daniel Bryan in the office, presumably killing him. Then we had Finn Balor versus Cesaro. This was serviceable. These guys can do infinitely better. But kind of an interesting finish. Balor hit a double stomp on the back of Cesaro's neck to get the 3, which was pretty cool. And then Balor gets buried because Kane comes out and tombstones him on the stage. And
I don't understand that.
And at this point, you're basically burying Balor and burying Cesaro because you let Balor beat Cesaro.
Yeah. Again, don't understand. What are you guys doing? Do you try? Why are you suddenly pushing a retired wrestler?
No. Like to be clear, I'm okay with them pushing Kane for like a retirement, one last run sort of thing.
Yeah,
cool.
Fair enough.
It's nostalgia pack. Do not kill Balor in the process. Kill someone else. Last week, when he had to have a squash match, you could have sent out Matt Hardy. You could have sent out Apollo Crews, since you're killing him anyways. Anything but Balor would have been better. Then we had a Kane versus Seth Rollins match with Ambrose, Sheamus, and Cesaro at ringside. We got a pretty decent match, which, considering you've got Kane in there, who should probably be retired, that's fine. And then the Shield gets beaten down 3-on-2. Then the Miztourage is going to celebrate in their locker room, and they find a big thing of garbage in their locker room. Miz immediately thinks that Braun Strowman is back, and Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas are trying to reassure him that there's nothing wrong. But Miz, after they try to reassure him, Miz just goes, yeah, now I'm nervous, and goes to go find Kane, and basically try to butter up Kane. Which is pretty funny, because Kane's just like, I'm not concerned that Braun's back. He knows where to find me. And then Miz is like, it's great, we're a team, we'll watch each other's back. And Kane just goes, no. You're on your own. Then we had a trick-or-treat street fight. I hate it when they do these Halloween matches, although this one did have one good thing about it. Are you ready for this, Byron?
Yes.
So the match is Slater and Rhino versus the Club, and both teams are, of course, in costume. So we got Rhino as Mrs. Claus and Heath Slater as Santa Claus against Tex Ferguson and Chad Too Bad.
That's awesome.
The match is terrible because they're just doing comedy stuff.
Not doing it well, I'm guessing.
Not particularly, no. Slater does good comedy, but the other three, not really. Not really what they're built for.
Yeah.
And match ends because Gallows is blind and he has a pumpkin on his head, so they double team him, and Rhino pins Anderson after putting him through a table.
Well, at least Rhino got a win.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. Sheamus is continuing, Miz is continuing his deal. He goes up to Cesaro and Sheamus, and Cesaro and Sheamus are like, nah, Braun can't possibly be back. 1 week isn't enough time to recover from being crushed by a garbage truck. Oh, little do you know. But they do the same thing. Miz starts going on about, it's excellent. We're, as a team, we'll face down Strowman when he gets back and watch each other's back. And Sheamus is just like, no. You're on your own. And then we move into Elias Sampson versus Jason Jordan. And I thought we were going to get a match, but we didn't. We just got some singing time with Elias, and then Jordan comes out and suplexes Elias and destroys Elias's guitar, which is played up for big big moment when, he just broke a guitar over Jordan's shoulder last week anyways. And Booker T was really bad during this. I don't remember specifically why, to be honest.
Oh, speaking of third commentators being bad, I totally forgot to comment on the previous video we did. If people aren't familiar, go to Meodred's YouTube channel. We did a UFC 217 recap. But it took me forever to figure out who the hell the other commentator was on the UFC, and when I found out it was Cormier, geez, he's bad. He's really super duper bad.
He is not particularly good.
He, during the Rose Namajunas victory, he just screamed Thug Rose for 5 or 6 minutes straight, so no one could be heard, and commentary can't be made, and that was just one example. The majority of the time, he was just kind of repeating things that Joe Rogan had already said, only saying them badly.
It's much better when they use Dominic Cruz.
Oh, yes, it is.
Then we have, Miz Taraj is trying to book it out of the building, but Kurt Angle prevents him from leaving. He's like, you arrive late, you're trying to leave early, you're going to stay here till the end of Raw, or else.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Enzo and Gulak promo time, and this was freaking great. So good, so good. It's more of Gulak doing the Enzo stick, which is freaking amazing. And they added a 4th eye to Kurt Angle's 3 eyes. Kurt Angle is incompetent. And then we move on to Gulak versus Kalisto, which was a quick match. It was there. It was fine. Nothing wrong with it. Kalisto gets the win with Salito del Sol and then gets beat up by Enzo.
Destino!
Then we had Alexa Bliss defending her title against Mickie James. Match was serviceable, but it has an absolutely shit ending. Bliss knocked out Mickie James with 1 punch.
Jesus, why do they keep pushing this chick like this?
I don't. Well, I like Alexa Bliss. I don't like her as much as WWE seems to, but I do like Alexa Bliss. But yeah, I don't think you can ever do the woman 1 punch gimmick unless you want to do it with Nia Jax or Tamina Snuka. Those are your 2 options.
Or ODB.
Well, if they signed her, yes.
Yeah.
Or Khan.
The thing is that Alexa Bliss is or was a fitness competitor, right? So
correct.
She's athletic, but they're not pushing her or letting her wrestle in a style that promotes her athletic ability. So they're doing everything they can to do it wrong, I guess, because she's very small. But she's very athletic.
Yeah, she's very small. I don't buy getting a knockout punch.
I'm not saying that she should be the female Leo Rush, but that's kind of what I am saying. Why they have her doing any of these things, I don't understand. She'll just randomly pin a person, or the whole fiasco with the kendo sticks, or I don't understand. They're crippling her character as much as they're crippling Bayley by just pushing her wrong in every regard.
I would say they're crippling Bayley's character more. I see your point.
You're wrong, yeah.
So then we go to the Miz Taraj leaving because Raw is over. They get into their limo, but there's a garbage truck blocking the exit. And it shits out Braun Strowman.
No, yeah, I heard that it was a completely different garbage truck, so it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Completely different color. Guys. It was red. It was like apple red, because it was red apple waste disposal. It's not even remotely a similar truck.
So bad.
So you're telling me that Braun Strowman escaped from the other truck, got into another truck, covered himself in garbage, so he could do this?
Yep.
That is garbage. Braun Strowman chases the Miz Taraj into the arena, beats him down, blah, blah, blah. The beatdown was fine, but everything else about this was terrible.
Yeah.
God awful. Moving on to SmackDown. Shane McMahon opens up by talking about Raw and SmackDown. Basically the SmackDown's the B show type thing, and this is our chance to get away from that. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's fine. talks about Daniel Bryan being beaten up by Kane and blames the Raw Authority, and announces he will be the captain for Survivor Series. So he's in the match, and Kurt Angle's in the match. And we also learned through this that apparently there was an interview. I learned through this that Braun Strowman's on Team Raw. Apparently it had been announced on the website beforehand.
Okie dokie.
Then we had Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler in a 2 out of 3 falls match for a Team SmackDown spot. This match had some really, really bad botches where, like, Roode would throw, like, a knee or something that, like, was, like, 2 feet away from Ziggler or whatever. It's like Ziggler's refusing to sell for people now. Like, he will sell, but he literally won't do anything good about making you believe he got hit. And that was pretty bad. Aside from that, it's pretty good. There was a good pace to it. There was some good chain wrestling, and Bobby Roode gets the win with a glorious DDT.
Glorious!
And then Renee Young and Bobby Roode do a post-match interview, which, God, could we please stop doing these?
They will not.
My eyes are bleeding.
They gotta keep going.
Then we had English and Rusev kind of just walking through the back, and the New Day's there, and they're dressed up for Halloween. Xavier Woods is Jimmy Hart. Big E is Akeem the African Dream.
Nice.
And Kofi Kingston is Brother Love. And Rusev spills all their candy out, and Big E doesn't take this well, because Big E loves his candy.
Yep.
And as a result, we're getting Big E versus Rusev.
I could watch that.
Then we had the Ladies Survivor Series team meeting. Becky's trying to fire them up, basically doing what Shane did earlier about the SmackDown B-Rand and so on. Ellsworth is dressed like a dog for Halloween and literally starts barking when Becky asks if there are any questions. To which Becky says, "I thought you would ask that," grabs a spray bottle and starts spraying Ellsworth.
Very nice. I like that.
And the team seems to actually be kind of gelled despite the heel-face mashup, and then Natty Neidhart comes in and just is basically a heel bitch. So, it's fine, I guess. Then we had the Uso... Oh, wait, no, hang on. I skipped one step. Baron Corbin versus Sin Cara. Are you ready for more Baron Corbin stupidity?
I mean, I'm used to it by now, so carry on.
Although this I actually somewhat enjoyed. So the match basically was Baron Corbin going after Sin Cara's mask, like trying to rip it off, Lucha Underground style. And this sets off Sin Cara, and he is pissed. Which, if we know anything about Hunico, the guy behind the Sin Cara mask, probably is actually his real personality. So this may have been a shoot. He beats the crap out of Corbin and sends him running through the crowd, like away from him. And I don't really know what the result of the match was. If it was like a double count out or Sin Cara getting DQ'd or the match was just thrown out. I have no idea. But yeah, we have Baron Corbin, the big bully, running away from Sin Cara, which is surprisingly enough the most sensible thing they've done in this entire feud.
He is muy caliente.
Then we move on to the Usos getting promo time. They trash talk Raw. They're going to beat Rollins and Ambrose, etc., etc. And then Benjamin and Gable come in to drop some bars, where basically Gable would do some kind of slightly rapish stuff, and Benjamin would, just be given like one line that he shouts really loudly. Like, when I say Oos, you say no!
Flavor Flav!
It wasn't bad, but it's not really my thing. And apparently we're getting a tag team title match next week. Then we had Samir Singh versus AJ Styles.
Why?
Jinder Mahal comes out and cuts a promo about how much he is feared, that he needed to be ejected from ringside last week, and Brock Lesnar should fear him. I can't keep a straight face. I'm sorry.
That's pretty much they've booked him as wrong as they've booked Alexa Bliss, but this is a new level of dumb. Like, you can't be that delusional. There's nobody that delusional except maybe The Miz. Even still trying to convince me that he's a Hollywood A-list actor.
Yeah, but The Miz is delusional about other things. Like, he's not delusional about people being afraid of him.
Yeah.
AJ Styles squashes Samir with a quick Styles clash, and
well, that's nice.
And then Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers beat him up for a while. The only thing I noted about this beatdown was Jinder Mahal needs longer pants, because like I could see like the ankle and like half his shin with those pants.
Ankle, you're turning me on.
Because he wears those really short shoes and like no socks.
Oh yeah.
So and his pants are way too freaking high. That was I honestly couldn't even appreciate the beatdown. I couldn't get past it.
That's fucking funny.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are in the back, and Sami can't believe like what the gall of Shane McMahon to appoint himself as captain. And Kevin Owens just basically says, "Oh, it's not surprising. He's an incredibly self-centered man." So I'm loving everything about this pairing.
They are the best.
And then we had a Bludgeon Brothers promo, which has been largely the same as every other Bludgeon Brothers promo.
Why do they keep doing these things?
Just have them debut. That's just all I have to say. Then we had Rusev versus Big E. The match was not very good, although the Uranagi spot where Big E hits Rusev with a Uranagi is awesome. Just throw that out there. And the outside stuff with Aiden English singing Rusev Day and Xavier reining in on his parade by coming over with the Jimmy Hart megaphone and his trombone to play taps.
That's fantastic.
Was pretty funny. But this only ends up distracting Big E. Like Big E goes and takes out English, and Rusev hits him with a kick in the back and gets the pin.
Rusev kick!
And also, Kofi Kingston does an amazing Brother Love impression with the "I love you."
That's awesome.
So big ups to Kofi Kingston. Sin Cara gets a promo. It's kind of just standard luchador stuff explaining the importance of the mask. I mean, it's fine. And he's basically going to make Baron Corbin his bitch.
Groovy. I didn't know he was... I thought his character was supposed to be silent, or they just literally never give him promo time.
They just don't give him promo time.
Alright, then.
Then we have Rusev and Aiden English backstage bugging Shane McMahon about, Rusev wants a spot on Team SmackDown. And Shane says, You're going to get your shot to be on Team SmackDown. Next week, you're going to face AJ Styles.
Cha-cha-cha.
Then we had a Stranger Things spoof with the Fashion Police. I don't know the Stranger Things show, so I don't know if this was any good.
I'm unfamiliar. I had a shitload of people tell me that I have to watch it, which means I'll get around to it in like 5 or 6 years.
Apparently there's something with the number 11 in Stranger Things. Like, there's like, something's moving under the bed, and Fandango's like going, oh no, it's 11, it's whatever, and then Breeze comes in and says, no, I'm right here. I guess apparently he's 11. And then Ty Dillinger comes out from under the bed and goes, no, it's a 10.
That's fantastic. I'm big on Deputy Dillinger. They need to do that as a permanent thing.
Ascension was in this, and they basically teased at the end that I guess the Bludgeon Brothers will finally show up next week. So
I guess.
We'll go with that.
I'm fine with. I'm good with them using the Fashion Police as a vehicle to debut people like this. I think it's a good use of that particular angle, but they really should have figured that out. 8 months ago.
Well, they shouldn't also be running Bludgeon Brothers promos while using this to debut.
It doesn't make any sense.
And the other problem is it's taken way too freaking long.
Yeah.
So then we get Owens and Nakamura in the main event. Despite Sami Zayn's best efforts to interfere in the match, Randy Orton comes out to eliminate him with an RKO, didn't do an RKO, did a backdrop onto the announce table with Sami Zayn.
Okay.
And Nakamura hits the Kinshasa on Kevin Owens for the 3. It was a serviceable match, but better than, let's put it this way, better than the Ziggler stuff, much worse than the John Cena stuff. And that's all for SmackDown. I suppose I didn't make it clear. Nakamura joins Team SmackDown. So Team SmackDown is now Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Shane McMahon, and the final spot will be Rusev or AJ Styles. Probably AJ, I'd think.
Rusev Machka.
So we're on to 205 Live. Would you like to lead us in?
I do indeed have preparatory notes for said programs. Although my notes for NXT are kind of light because there wasn't a whole lot to say.
I didn't have a lot to say about it either.
Yeah, 205 Live also not tons to say, but I do have I have some notes. I enjoyed the Andrew Garlic intro. I have things written down such as sounds chant, Utopia, perverse psychology, sell the throat injury for a single day because long-term booking is stupid.
In fairness, I think they sold the throat injury for like 2 weeks.
I don't care. And then he hit the Grande Sleeper, so that was cool. Then they reminded us that the whole Cedric Alexander's got an ultimatum thing happening. And I was suddenly more interested.
Yep.
There was I think I wrote. Oh, that's what happened. So I watched 205 Live like really, really, really late at night, right before bed, and then looked at the clock after I was done and went, "I'm not watching NXT. I'm going to fucking sleep." So my notes are a little not awesome right now. Was Andrew? Who is Andrew Garlic wrestling?
Tozawa.
All right. Okay. So that makes more sense now. And I enjoyed the "Where My Ghouls At" line. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
First action in over. I was going to say somebody on commentary said this is his first action in over a month, and I'm like, wasn't Tozawa actually wrestling last week, or was it the week before?
No, he just appeared last week. He didn't wrestle.
Okay. There was a backdrop driver and a tope suicida. And then the match was kind of over. It was just kind of an average match. Nothing really happened. I couldn't even really get that hype for the backdrop driver. Would just kind of...
Yeah. I really enjoyed the Gulak Tozawa match, personally. I thought it was above average.
It just kind of... It didn't do anything for me. Just... Don't know why.
Then we had Brian Kendrick versus Rich Swann, literally as a clown.
Yes. Swandrick, I have decided to call them. Or we can start, or I like calling Rich Swan Dick Duck.
The comedy in this match was better than the other Halloween stuff they've done. To be honest. Because the other stuff has been terrible, and this was not bad. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was this match was just boring. I have it written down here. Let's see. I'm bored. This is boring. Waste of fucking goddamn time. Why is this ultimatum / heel turn match boring? This fucking sucks for storytelling. Like, this didn't do...
Oh, yeah, no. From a storytelling standpoint, this was absolute garbage. This was just as fun as they make Halloween matches. And it was just... It shouldn't have been... Well, mind you, Rich Swann being a clown after being called a clown for, like, ages by Kendrick and Gallagher. I mean, it has a certain appeal to it. I can't believe it took me this long, but I'm watching this match and going, wait a minute. So Rich Swann is the dead weight of Cedric Alexander. And I paused and thought for a moment and went, Rich Swann beat Brian Kendrick for the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah.
Just so many things about this story don't make any sense.
Exactly. Also, the botched finish was botched and it was very cringy.
Oh, yeah.
The Phoenix Splash knee drop. I mean, if that's what you're going for, deadly maneuver. Dude, sick bro. But we know that's not the case, and I would not have a problem with Kendrick getting up and kicking him right in the balls instead of taking the pin.
Yeah, kind of. Then we had a Fright Night Fatal 4-Way between Daivari, Ali, Nice, and Metalik. I liked Davari's promo at the start. I enjoyed that.
Also refereed by Little H.
Yeah. I enjoyed the fact that Tony Nese will not accept Mustafa Ali's candy.
Correct.
And I also liked the part where Daivari got the Grand Metalik mask out and became Arya Metalik.
Indeed. Daivari Dinero wearing the Walter Sobchak sunglasses from Big Lebowski. Well done. Also liked Brony Fleece's little breakaway chest clip thingy. I thought that was awesome. Although if he needs to incorporate that into the flexing, so he like starts flexing and the chest clips kind of pop off.
Oh, my favorite part of the match was Tony Nese doing the his sit-up spot, but instead of doing the kicks, he was hucking pumpkins into the corner.
Yeah. Also, he was doing the sit-up medicine ball throw. And also, did you notice the guy sitting down front that was dressed exactly like Taz, but I don't know if he did that on purpose?
I assume he did that on purpose, but I don't know.
Could be. Also, I have a note here that Corny's going to hate the skeleton. Because they did a skeleton spot.
Yeah.
A la the blow-up doll.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't an entire match with the skeleton, but Corny will probably hate it, yeah.
Yeah.
The candy corn kendo sticks was an interesting thing.
Somebody get out the tape and make the kendo sticks even tighter. It'll be great. I thought the Tower of Doom ambush pin was going to be the finish, and it wasn't. I was a little disappointed. The broomstick leg drop was pretty good, but I thought the Tower of Doom ambush pin should have been the way to go.
True. I also like the tack bag ending up with the candy corn in it.
Yeah,
I mean, I knew it the entire time. I knew they weren't going to do tax, but you know.
No, I was genuinely interested to see what is in the bag. I know it's not gonna be tax. And my final note here is generally meh-ish episode. No Enzo equals meh, but everyone he's associated with is doing better overall.
I'm just gonna throw up my MVP of this match was Tony Nese, mostly for just reactions to candy. Like, when he pulled out the candy card, he's like, what is this? Don't even know what it is. It was fun, but, I mean, not, I wouldn't put this on a resume for any of these guys.
Yeah.
Then we move on to NXT. And, I'm going to take us into the first match, because I want to just bring out a point here.
No, wait, hold on. My note here says, Percy Jackson obviously has no idea what the word Judica means.
True.
Because that's exactly what Morrow said. Morrow's like, oh, black belt, she's a black belt Judica, or something like that. And Percy, I think about 20 seconds later, said, oh, she's also got a black belt in judo. Or something to that effect.
Yeah. So, Tainara Conti's been in professional wrestling for she's green as all heck. And she could already take an ass beating better than the skinny Aussie bitches. So Correct. There you go. At no point in this match did I feel like Nikki Cross had to slow the fuck down while beating her ass.
Correct.
So congratulations, Tainara Conti. I don't know what your offense is necessarily going to look like, but your ability to sell and keep up in a match already better than two ladies who've been in this business for several years.
Correct.
Then we had a Mercedes Martinez promo about Ember Moon.
It's bad promo is bad. Ember will lose, so Ember will win. Which means that somebody stated out loud that Ember Moon definitively will not win that match, so she will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had Fabian Eichner versus Johnny Gargano, and I had listed here, this should be fun, because I really enjoyed Eichner's matchup with Cassius Ohno.
It wasn't as good as I thought it should have been, but it was good. It was good. It was dynamic. The psychology was awesome. Well, not awesome, but it was good enough. But it just wasn't after seeing Eichner versus Chris Hero.
I did.
So ago.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
My final note for the match was thought the Ohno match was much better, but this was actually still pretty good.
Yeah. Also, someone show this to Drago so he knows how to do a complicated pin in an awesome and timely fashion.
Mm-hmm. They gave Eichner the upset win. I guess this is an upset. Reversing the Gargano escape into a pin. Yeah,
I'm assuming that Psycho Killer's on his way back soon, so they gotta step up the whole Gargano has lost his way shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. We had the beginning of what I assume is going to be a Rick Moss, Tito Sabatelli feud with the Street Profits about the Maserati car.
Can we have that feud but not have it on TV? Because I don't need to see it.
I kind of want to see it because I see things that both these teams can do. Don't get me wrong, the current product with both of them is not very good.
Yeah.
But I see places they could go, and a long, like, protracted feud with each other might do them both the world of good.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I would prefer if they told them that it was going to be on TV and then just don't put it on.
Well, you got to have them on TV, see how they handle it. Then we had the contract signing for Drew McIntyre versus Andrade Cien Almos, where Andrade just ends up jumping Drew from behind.
Yeah, but he'd already signed the contract. They'd already shown Buddy McDude signing the thing earlier in the night. Why?
Yeah, I didn't really get any of the point of this.
I don't understand.
This was not good.
And the whole stated premise for this entire thing is that you got to be a man, look him in the eyes, and ask for a title shot, which, again, hasn't happened. So does that mean that McIntyre can just rip up the contract because his stipulation hasn't been met?
I hope so. Otherwise, what the hell is the point of this whole thing then?
Yeah, I just don't get it. It's not that I don't think the match is going to be any good.
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't think the feud's, working. It's just that they don't seem to. They're not connecting the dots. They're missing some dots here.
I'm missing a lot of things. Like, what the hell is this feud even about?
Yeah.
Then we had the gruesome twosome being afraid of Kairi Sane.
Yeah. I have a note on this. Shittier promo is even shittier. Have both of these chicks tried to eat live bees recently?
I was watching a
pretty much it.
BuzzFeed video where they send two girls into the performance center, and there was a promo class that they attended, and it started off with the gruesome twosome cutting a promo, and I was on TeamSpeak with you when I was watching. I'm like, oh god, this is so bad. And then it went to Heavy Machinery, and I'm like, yes, so much better, so much better.
Yeah.
Then we had Sandy versus AOP tag team title match. Eric Young and Alexander Wolf defending for Sanity. I like the match. It was going pretty well. I mean, we've seen what these two teams can do before, and it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends in a double DQ when the Undisputed Era charges in.
Actually, I believe they're now the Undisputed Day and a Half.
Killian Dane came to the rescue, but gets beat up as well. And then Roddy Strong comes out to join Undisputed, and then attack them and stand tall with AOP. Roddy Strong and AOP. OP, thank you very much. Did not see that coming. I did not.
No, I thought they'd do the traditional, the super babyface comes out to beat the shit out of him, yay! Or he comes out and joins them, it was going to be just straightforward as fuck.
And we've got a triple threat matchup. And by the way, the crowd reaction to the fact that it was going to be War Games. Holy shit.
My reaction to the fact that it was going to be War Games, holy shit.
Yeah, well, our reaction, but the crowd was particularly impressive because I knew what our reaction would be. But the crowd was hyped.
Yeah, I said with 2 rings. I'm like, yeah, War Games, yeah, motherfucker, yeah! And then he said Cage, and I knew it was coming.
So we're getting triple threat. War Games, it'll be the AOP and Roddy Strong versus Sanity versus the Undisputed Era. And that should be pretty damn good.
I am looking forward to all of this. My only concern is going to be filming it is going to be a bitch because you got 9 guys in the ring, in 2 rings at the same time. So you got to be... I'm hoping that this isn't just a brutally obvious, we're going to do a spot now, everybody get in the corner, type thing. And I hope that it's dynamic, that, we don't have to just wait around while things happen in a match where you've got 9 people that should be doing cool shit all at the same time, all the time.
I require NXT to do me a favor. You've got Drake Younger on staff. Yeah. He's a referee there. Drake Younger has done 2 or 3 Cage of Death matches. Now, I'm not saying turn this into Cage of Death, because that, one, you'd never get away with that. That's a lot of blood. Yeah. But you ask Drake Younger, all right, Drake, how do we do this? Because you've been part of something like this. Give us some insight. And if they do that, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I have high hopes, especially with these particular teams involved, but I'm trepidatious because it's the WWE and they don't know what they're doing.
NXT usually gets left alone by Vince McMahon, though, which tends to be the problem. So, just on the other news, we have more information about the Emma release, supposedly. Largely, this has to do with her heat with creative, is why she got cut.
So she got fired for being right.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Emma getting cut is we've talked about this before. Why doesn't a woman just leave WWE? And this will be the interesting one. If Emma can go out there and do very well in the indies and make a good living, then it probably provides a lot more freedom for the other ladies to possibly take a stand.
Yeah.
And actually have some bargaining power.
Because
the men have some bargaining power. It seems like the women don't, because there's no example of a woman leaving WWE and actually doing good things outside of an Impact.
They usually go to TNA, Impact, GFW, whatever the fuck.
Which may not be around for much longer and is having a hard time paying its talent anyways.
Yeah, so I would like to see another federation, step up. Like, there's obviously a wealth of talent out there, and it's not like anybody really pays attention. Is Shimmer even a thing anymore?
Not really.
Okay, so there's no Shimmer. So there are some places out there that have female wrestlers, but it's usually like PWG and or Mexico. Mm-hmm. So it would be great if, say, Ring of Honor could step up and have a women's division, or...
They do. They have their Women of Honor, but it tends to be all homegrown talent and like a very small roster. So... Again, that's the interesting thing. If Emma can find a way to make money in the wrestling industry outside of WWE, it gives a lot of power to the women there. And then we can possibly see some people leave because they're largely booking almost all the women like shit.
Yes.
There's a handful of exceptions to that, but for the most part, absolutely dog crap.
Yeah, no, it's not good. I mean, I guess if you're a champion, you can say that they're booking you good because you're the champion.
I would disagree because we have Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, and then that happens, and now what the fuck? I don't get it.
The other noteworthy news item is Leo Rush is got some heat backstage.
Yeah, a little bit.
For some stupidity on Twitter.
Well, he basically commented on the releases talking shit.
Yeah.
Thinking he's cute.
Yeah, it was not a smart move. And I heard there might have been another release, so chew up some time here.
Darren Young.
Well, there was Darren Young, Summer Rae, and I keep hearing from other ones that there's a fourth one.
Well, people are speculating about Neville, but the word is that Neville will be held to his contract until the day he dies because Vince is angry.
Well, no, I mean, the contract does run out at some point, but they're not going to let him out of that contract. Like, it's going to be, you're assigned to it. I believe the rumor is that it's July of next year. So you're assigned with us until July of next year, at which point you can leave and then start your 90-day no-compete clause.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're basically holding him hostage. Which is not very nice. But, then again, Vince McMahon has never been a nice man, so not surprising. That's about all I can really think of. You got anything you want to talk about in the world of wrestling?
Well, there's the whole Winnipeg angle.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk about that. It's not a WWE thing, but, well, it's kind of is, because Chris Jericho. So, we're getting the alpha of Winnipeg Wrestling versus the omega of Winnipeg Wrestling, as Chris Jericho is going to take on Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. And this was done in, honestly, one of the better ways I think I've ever seen. After Kenny Omega defeated Trent Beretta, he's cutting a promo about, this is when someone comes out and talks some shit and challenges me to a match. No one's going to do that. No one. And they're, get to the goodbye and goodnight part. And then the lights go out and a video promo plays. and it's Chris Jericho here to call out Kenny Omega for a match. And I was hyped. Like a lie, I was hyped.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
So that's going to be awesome.
It's
maybe not the greatest like Kenny Omega like physical match ever, because Jericho is starting to break down. But I think the story of that match is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I anticipate that the psychology, and you know what? I don't know. Is Jericho breaking down, or is just Vince not letting him fucking wrestle because it's WWE and they don't let anybody?
I think he's talked about it on his podcast that he doesn't believe he can wrestle the style that he used to. That he's got to adjust to just growing age.
Well, that's just wrong.
So I don't think we're gonna get a 5-6 star match, but we're gonna get a 5-6 star story, like psychology out of it, and then probably like a 4-star, 4.5 star match on top of that.
I agree.
So that was really good. The only thing I would have added was if Cyrus the Virus had kind of like figured it out through the little like montage of stuff that Jericho had up on the Tron, because it's like you're all from Winnipeg. There was a sign of a highway in Winnipeg. It's like, come on, Cyrus. I was waiting for Cyrus to like either start celebrating that Jericho is here or like start going, oh no, it can't be. That would have been.
I was fine with it. I liked the way he reacted, because he reacted as if he'd been held out of the entire thing. He's like, what? I gotta call him right now. I gotta figure out what's going on. Is this even possible? Is this like what's going on here?
It just would have been a little better if he'd started reacting to it a little bit sooner than he did.
Yeah.
But no, it was still very well done. Mind you, not the greatest reveal I think I've ever seen in professional wrestling. That still probably is the fake reveal of Nick Mondo for one of the Cage of Deaths. If you're not familiar with CZW, Nick Mondo, kind of a big deal, had to retire because, well, he chose to retire to pursue film education. Like he wanted to go make movies and stuff, and he'd taken some pretty nasty injuries because it's fucking CZW. I mean, and during one of the Cage of Deaths, they played Nick Mondo's theme music when someone was coming out, and the announcers are freaking the hell out. Eric Gargiulo and John House are selling it so well. The heel, which is John House, is going, no, it cannot be him, he is retired, he is gone, and it wound up instead being just Sabian from the Blackout coming down to the ring, and the crowd was so teased, it was ridiculous. So that was a better reveal, but this was really good. Other than that, we're gonna watch Bound for Glory tonight, TNA Impact, and if it's good, we're going to review it. If it's bad,
we might review it anyway.
Might review it if it's bad enough to review. I am disappointed that we're not getting the Red Wedding tonight. Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary were supposed to have a Red Wedding match. That has been canceled because Taya has apparently personal issues. So we will not be getting that match, but we will be getting some good stuff still. Some Lucha Underground talent is on the card already with Johnny Mundo and Tejano. Will be both on the card. Whoa. And shall I give a potential spoiler, or do we want to proceed without it?
I'd prefer to proceed without it personally.
Okay.
Is it something that I already know?
No. Well, it's not even. It's something it's just honestly, it's a homebrew theory of mine that doesn't even have any real substantiating fact.
Well, then that's not a spoiler. That's a theory. That's fantasy booking. You're allowed to do that.
All right. So OVE is defending their titles against LAX in a 51-50 street fight.
I don't know what any of that means.
It's just a street fight. But the deal is LAX has a bunch of. They got Conan at ringside. There's Chick at ringside. They're going to bring a bunch of people to help tip the numbers in their favor. And OVE has been talking about how they have they're going to be bringing some family from Ohio. Now, OVE, which is the former Irish Airborne Jake and Dave Christ.
I was going to say, I don't know who these OVE guys are. So.
Yeah. It stands for Ohio versus everything. But back in the day, they had a third member to their team who's also from Ohio, so it all works. It's a man with a certain affinity for the pump kick. And a man that you and I are very, very familiar with, certain Sammy Cranahan.
Ooh,
so I'm hoping I am crossing everything in my body that at least one of the family coming to back them up is Sami Callihan.
Sounds good to me.
So I would be down for that. So yeah. Hopefully it's a good show. We'll see how it is. And I watched the Go Home Impact for it, and it was very weird because it was a clip show. Basically.
Weird. I thought only Rick and Morty were allowed to do
not a clip show in the sense of like these are a bunch of matches we've had, but like we now go to Pro Wrestling Noah for where Moose is in action. That kind of thing. Like almost like a Sports Center type deal for pro wrestling.
That is odd.
And they went to Border City Wrestling for a match with Rosemary and Ali versus Sienna and one of the Border City girls, Casey Spinelli. Were having a tag match. And like stuff like that. There was very little action in the Impact Zone, which is kind of weird for a go home.
Well, there's rumors that they have pretty much abandoned the Impact Zone, that they will now be running shows exclusively out of Ottawa.
Yeah, but they still have like recording stuff in the can from the Impact Zone.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Wouldn't be that? I don't really know.
Maybe that's what they're going to put on the pay-per-view.
Also kind of interested to see how Stephan Bonner does in a wrestling match, because I've heard things about Stephan Bonner's wrestling, but I've not seen it yet. Apparently it's not bad. So hopefully it's something pretty good, because he's in a tag match tonight with Moose versus Bobby Lashley and King Mo.
Interesting.
And
hopefully somebody goes into business for themselves and cuts Queen Moo's forehead open from side to side.
What is your hatred for King Mo? I don't think we've ever really figured.
He's a fucking asshole, and he's a huge racist.
True, but there are other people that you don't seem to have that much hate on for who are the same.
I can't think of anybody else I enjoy the giant amount of retarded racism from.
Anyways, so we got that coming, and we'll probably see some dudes like Colby Covington there for ATT as backup. By the way, Colby Covington probably fits better in pro wrestling than he does in MMA at this point, because the entire country of Brazil wants to kill him.
Well played.
Man's a natural heel, what can I say? That's all we got for the review this week. And we're going to be back at you with a second podcast today where we do our long-awaited debate series where we're going to pick 3 wrestlers apiece that could do well in MMA and try to sell you on it. So we'll see how that goes.
Interesting.
Until then, well, and when I say until then, I mean literally I'm going to go make dinner and then we're going to do it. I'm Mike, and he's Byron.
Peace out.
And get off his lawn.